Sonny and Cher famously ended their shows by singing, "I've Got You, Babe." But how did they come to work together, get married, have their own variety show, and eventually go their separate ways? Despite going by one name for most of her career, it took her some time to settle on Cher. She was born Sherilyn Sarkeesian in El Centro, California on May 20th, 1946. When she released her first solo single in 1964, she went by the name Bonnie Jo Mason. The single was a flop, but she resurfaced singing backup music on records and eventually teamed up with Sonny Bono. Before the world knew them as Sonny and Cher, they called themselves Caesar and Cleo. Cher's mom tried to make it as an actress in Hollywood. While she never got the starring role she desired, because of her connections, she did manage to get Cher a role as an extra on The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. This would be Cher's first on-screen appearance, but certainly not her last. While that sounds exciting, times weren't always easy for Cher growing up. Things got so tight that at one point, her mom couldn't afford to make ends meet. Cher's mom had to drop her off at a Catholic orphanage for a while. Her mom would come to see her every day, but that time was hard for a young Cher. Salvatore Philip Bono was born in Detroit, Michigan on February 16, 1935, to poor immigrants from Sicily. The family moved to Los Angeles when he was 7 years old, but his parents divorced shortly after. Bono wasn't that interested in school, so he dropped out and tried to make it in the music business. He had some small successes, but it took him many years and a special partner before he made it big time. In 1962, Sonny introduced Cher to Phil Spector, a famous record producer. When Spector saw how talented she was, he used her as a background singer on hits, including the Righteous Brothers song, "You've Lost That Lovin' Feelin'." In 1965, 2 years after they met, Sonny and Cher married in the bathroom of their apartment. No one else was there with them, and they exchanged cheap rings with their names on them. They would go on to have a more formal ceremony years later. At the height of the Sonny and Cher Comedy Hour's popularity in the 1970s, a toy company released a doll of both Sonny and Cher. The Cher doll ended up being the highest-selling doll of 1976, selling even more dolls than Barbie. In June of 1965, Sonny and Cher hit it big with the recording of "I Got You, Babe." This was followed by "Laugh at Me," "All I Really Want to Do," and then the rock classic, Bono's most recorded song, "The Beat Goes On." At one point, they had 5 songs in the top 20 at the same time. The only others ever to do that were Elvis Presley and the Beatles. As their personal relationship deteriorated, they continued to play the act of a happy couple on their show. Eventually, though, this caught up to them, and their relationship and the show ended. After years as a performer, Sonny pivoted to politics. He served as mayor of Palm Springs, California, before heading to Capitol Hill as a congressman. He established himself as a popular fundraiser for the Republican Party. Sonny went to South Lake Tahoe on the California-Nevada border with his new wife and kids in 1998. He hit the slopes on his own for the day, but he failed to return many hours later. His wife called the ski patrol. He was found later that evening, having been killed in a skiing accident. Cher was devastated when she learned Sonny had died skiing. She spent days drafting a eulogy she hoped would repair all the damage and misconceptions about Sonny. Her moving words at his funeral touched on their history and connection. She ended by saying, "When I was young, there was this section in Reader's Digest called The Most Unforgettable Character I Ever Met. No matter how old I get, no matter how many people I meet, that person will always be Son for me." In May of 1998, Sonny and Cher received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. CBS also aired a special presentation hosted by Cher entitled Sonny and Me, Cher Remembers, which provided a nostalgic look at Sonny's career. Cher has been famous for over 50 years now, but that's not slowing her down. Her last two albums tied as her highest charting solo albums on the Billboard Hot 100, peaking at number 3. In 2011, Cher became the only artist in history to have a number 1 song on a Billboard chart for 6 consecutive decades. She is also a member of another elusive club. She is one of only 5 people to both have an Oscar and a number 1 single top the charts. She won an Academy Award for her role in Moonstruck, and her 1998 hit Believe reached the top of the charts. Frank Sinatra, Barbra Streisand, Jamie Foxx, and Bing Crosby are the only other 4 to accomplish that feat. Thanks for watching Jukebox Jams. If you enjoyed this video, please click to subscribe to our channel and hit the thumbs up button. Be sure to tap the notification bell so you'll be one of the first to know when we post our next story about musical legends.